Hello everyone, I'm an artist, GraceANN Cummings, and I'm going to take you on a journey with this painting today. I'm the artist known for painting God's mistake. I know if you're atheist, you're like, I don't believe in God, that's stupid. If you're religious, I don't have an insult, I do not intend an insult. And if you're simply curious, let's get on to the question of, what would God's mistake be? So the error that I'm referencing in relation to my art is the belief in death. Okay, I'm suggesting that the belief in death is a mistake. And I'm suggesting that because I'm also proposing that the witnessing of mortality is not the same thing as the belief in death. I'm saying one is real and one is not. That's why the belief in death is a mistake, right? So let me ask you a few questions. First, before you were born, were you dead or were you a state of potential? Also, where did your consciousness come from? You came from your parents, okay? And their consciousness came from their parents, and so on and so on. So human consciousness comes from human beings who procreate themselves, right? Makes sense? So let me ask you one other thing. Do your parents intend your mortality by giving you birth? I don't think so. But that shows us that mortality is required in order for us to exist, which seems like quite the irony. We can watch mortality happen, okay? Our parents watch us start, they give us birth, and we watch our parents pass on because we outlive them. And yet we all were not existing before our conception as a zygote in our parents' womb, and yet no one has yet been able to describe their pre-existence. And when we pass on, no one can describe back to us left here on earth what that state is, okay? The state of death is actually the lack of consciousness itself. So you can't logically actually ever witness that to begin with. So then what an irony if you have to be alive in order to witness the state of mortality. If you are dead, you cannot. And you have to be alive in order to watch mortality happen. Yet you can't watch your own. Someone else has to watch it for you. And you can't create your lifetime. Someone else has to create it for you. So the other thing about consciousness is that it is a necessarily shared phenomenon. No one gets to start it other than through inheritance, and no one can create their own existence without someone else, and no one can watch themselves expire, so you don't actually witness your own mortality ever. So this is a paradox that we live. We're these fragmented beings who inherit an ongoing consciousness. So that brings us to my painting here. It's kind of relevant to what we've been discussing. We've got the zygote, right? The conception in the womb and the skull. We all start like this. We all have a skeleton inside ourselves holding us up. And of course, that's our symbol of mortality. But it's not the symbol of death. And my title, I've got the words here, I will. And then it says, can you see that? But have I not yet? Again, referencing back to before I was conceived, was I dead or was I a state of potential? That would have been, of course, everyone else here. So I'm going to take you on a journey now with this painting, and I'm going to destroy it. Since I've already given it one mortality by creating it, I'll actually be giving it a second mortality by destroying it. Okay, so I'm going to take these scissors here, and I'm going to stab my painting. Okay, there's the first cut, and I'm going to cut it up. Okay. And what I can do is I can choose to save the skull as a memory of what was here. And I've got a little bit of wire in the back because it was on exhibit at one point in time. And I'm going to just keep cutting. Okay. And canvas actually rips really easily. I destroyed the skull. Okay, that's a terrible mortality. And then I'm going to cut this one out more later because I actually want to preserve this one, because I might redo this in a different way and create a second version of the painting. But the point is, while this was happening, you were watching. I was doing it. We're both consciously present. While my painting is horribly damaged, and I'm a little sad about that, my consciousness is fine. Your consciousness is fine. It didn't stop. It didn't get damaged. It's not ruined. Now, we can have feelings about it. It's very unpleasant that this is what I've done to my art piece, but that was my choice. And it's not a human. It is just an art piece. And I don't intend to do this to my other art. But the point is not that. The point is that consciousness continues. It doesn't get damaged, even though it can watch damage happening. Our hearts are a different story, and that'll be on a different film on another day. But I hope you can understand the power of consciousness, and I hope that you can understand my association with error, God's mistake, and the belief in death. I think of consciousness as the power of thinking and the universal presence of being able to witness life, which is the person and being, and that would be us, who watches life with consciousness and never stops, because that consciousness is still going, despite all the mortalities that have happened throughout history. And the witness to consciousness could be God, witnessing life, just like us, witnessing life. We are the power of consciousness. Thank you for watching, and if you want to check out more of my art, visit www.GraceAnnCummings.art. Thank you.